Every year, thousands of lives are lost to suicide, a tragedy that leaves families and communities searching for answers. But behind the statistics are real people, real struggles, and real opportunities for intervention. Today is all about awareness and action. Joining us today is Dr. Davina Knowles-Robinson, a psychiatrist who will discuss suicide prevention to help us understand what we need to know and how we can all play a role in saving lives. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us today. So how would you describe the current state of suicide prevention, whether in the Bahamas and even globally as well, if you're able to touch on it?
So we're just coming out of Suicide Prevention Month. It's September. September 10th, more specifically, is known as the International Suicide Prevention Day. But in September, we try to bring awareness to suicide because it is a very serious topic. In our country alone, thanks to the Bahamas Police Force, we have statistics. It showed that 8 persons committed suicide. They completed, well, we don't like to use the term completed, but they took their own lives. From this year alone, for the first 3 months, 6 persons, all males, have ended their lives through suicide. So it is a very serious topic. We know that the Bahamas Health government did a statistics, the Ministry of Education, where they found that 1 in 5 students have had thoughts of suicide, which is in keeping with global statistics, where it is the 3rd leading cause of death in adolescence. So globally, it is an important thing, and we know even one life is too many.
Yes. So what would you say are some of the most common warning signs that someone is struggling?
So we look at symptoms like depression, so changes in behavior like changes in sleep, changes in appetite, always crying or sad and depressed, changes in hopelessness, they don't want to do anything, changes in concentration, so they're not functioning at work or at school, so decline in grades, changes in their energy, and thoughts of suicide. So if someone says that they want to end their life, they don't feel like life is worth living, they hope that the Lord just takes them home today, any of those things are indicators for suicide.
And so what then are immediate steps that someone should take if a loved one is at risk?
So typical risk factors, being male is a high risk factor. Having access to means, so a firearm, a knife. So if this person is saying that they are going to use their firearm, if someone is giving away their worldly possessions, they say that they don't need anything anymore. You know, they're supposed to be going to work tomorrow, but they're saying, I'm selling my house, I'm selling my car. They're online telling the world goodbye. Things like showing signs of wanting to be away from friends and family, trying to seclude themselves, being more reclusive. So having that good community or social support is very important, but if you see that they are now going away from that, that is a very big warning sign as well.
So then are there specific local resources, hotlines, or programs that people should know about that can aid in this intervention or assistance?
In the government sector, there is the Community Counseling and Assessment Center on Collins Avenue, CCAC. It is the only public facility for mental health in the country, so it services over 400,000 persons. But you can go into the department, go into the community clinic and get help there. Suicide is a emergency. So going into the emergency room is the first step. So if you have a friend or a loved one that is endorsing symptoms of suicide, taking them into the emergency department is also very important. There's a crisis center, and then there are private physicians like myself that also aid in psychiatric support, and psychologists that also aid in mental health support as well.
So then what role does social media play, whether it's negative or positive, in suicide prevention?
So social media can be a tool, like you said, it can be both positive and negative. A lot of the times we harp on the negative effects of social media because there's cyberbullying, and especially in the young population, we see that that is a very heavy risk factor. So in that way, it has a negative connotation. However, seeing persons derail, seeing changes in what they're posting online can be a good indicator of what they're actually going through. So seeing those small, subtle changes, and obviously getting resources too. So there are plenty AI support. There are other social networks that give tips and tools that help with mental health and things that can support persons' mental health issues. So, like I said, both positive and negative effects of social media as well.
So what would you say to someone who is watching right now who may feel stressed, hopeless, overwhelmed? What would be your message to them?
I think boundaries are very important. At the end of the day, I use the saying, you have to put your own life vest on first, or your own oxygen mask on first. So if you are struggling and you know that things are getting really hard, reaching out for help is important, because I know that there is a big stigma within our community, within our country, against mental health. And we use the C word, crazy, and I don't like that word, because at the end of the day, just as you would go to the doctor for a broken arm or a broken foot, you should get medical support for that. And so in the same way, if you're facing a mental health disorder like depression, facing the thoughts of suicide, getting the help is very important, and it's never too late. So acknowledging your problems, getting the help, setting boundaries. If you feel like what you're going through is taking you down a rabbit hole, knowing when to say no, knowing when it is important to get the help as well.
Well, we definitely know that suicide is preventable and hope is always within reach. So we thank you for professionals like you who are out there assisting those that are definitely in trouble and in need of some type of assistance or intervention. So a special thank you for joining us on What's Trending today and for sharing insight on what others can do to step in and assist those in need as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, now let's bring a little brightness back into the room and talk about the stories everyone's buzzing about this week in What's the Buzz. That's right after the break.